I definitely want to look at this data with you really quickly. So let's check out this these search terms. These are a couple. I've been writing a series on this, so there's more coming out all the time that just keep pushing me further down this path. But nostalgia being something that folks crave, going analog, a year of whimsy, which as you can see is something I am leaning into right now in my vest. But yeah, I think that these are all things that our arts organizations can supply for people. And we just need to be really clear about the connection. An example that Allison and I were iterating on was this concept of like subject lines. How can we just use the subject line change to get people to see us as an answer in their inbox? And so if the subject line is here's what's on stage, that's great. That's going to work for somebody who knows to look for a play to help them with these things, or they just want to play for whatever their motivation is. But you could try instead looking to unplug this weekend. You're going to get a different person opening that email, right? Just from that subject change alone, even if the email is ultimately the same, right? So a great step one here is explore those subject lines and really see if you can use them like a hook to get somebody different to say to themselves, oh, this is for me, right? I am looking to unplug. Oh, that might have a solution for me in there. So, you know, I think it's like, how do we do this? How do we take a step in this direction? Definitely start with the subject line. But if you are going to start looking into the insides of your emails as well, which I do recommend you explore, think about it this way. So the product for an email is often locked, right? Like we are locked into selling Mamma Mia. We are locked into selling, you know, our Van Gogh exhibit. Like that's what we need to do as a company. But we can definitely consider variations on that theme for our emails. And one of them could be about the experience of coming. Now, that could be specific to coming to the Van Gogh exhibit, which honestly, that's pretty cool. Or it could be more generalized about what it's like to be in your space and what are people going to feel, hear, and see, and then sort of end with a bottom sideline, a bottom call to action of like, this is what's on right now. And so like our ultimate driver is still going to do that, even if our entire case for why people should come is not necessarily about the exhibit. A second lens you could look at for the inside of your email would be connection. So of course, connection is a part of experience, but where Allison and I have kind of decided to call it out specifically because of all that data from Impact's experience that is shouting at us that people are coming to the arts to feel more connected, sharing that time with their family, sharing that time with their loved one. And so how can we tell those stories more clearly? And I think there's a few ways. One, you need to ask yourself as a marketer, do you already know the types of connection that are happening in your space, in this exhibit, in this experience, in this show? Is this a family thing? Or are you looking to tell the story of how a parent can buy a ticket from you and pay for a connection moment with their kid? Or is it a lot and you're not certain who's coming and the types of connection happening? A header idea or a call to action button that says, who will you bring, is this very strong, simple way to start doing this. You know, and actually Allison came up with another angle here that I really loved, which is about like self-connection. Can you speak to that more, Allison?
Yeah, I mean, I feel like we don't see this talked a lot about in our marketing, but I mean, I, you know, love to go to a play or a movie by myself, and there's something about being sort of, you were saying this, Sally, like alone, but like with people, all sort of experiencing that same thing. You know, I love those moments in like a play in the audience where everyone gasps at the same time or everyone laughs at the same thing. And that I think some people can be afraid to do those things alone, but why should they miss out? And I think this is really an unexplored angle in terms of connection, because you're still connecting with the people around you, you're still connecting with the art. Maybe you're sort of connecting with a piece of yourself that you don't necessarily get to talk to in your day-to-day life. So I think that could be a really interesting angle beyond just like, you know, some of the more, I think, obvious ones of like family and date night. I think there's a lot of different opportunities.
I also keep picturing, so like my mind is always shuffling visuals, right? My mind is like, well, what does that look like? What does this look like? And I don't know if anyone has this memory or recollection, but there was a year where Taylor Swift was putting out pictures that were all in black and white, and they just had one person in color And I think there might be something very interesting visually to be said about that sort of like solo reflection experience of like being alone in a crowd and what's beautiful about that. Or vice versa. Maybe you have two people in color, you know, and you're showing off like this moment of connection between that group or that family, and really like everything else is not the focus. So a lot of ways to play with this. I definitely think a lot about people holding hands at our experiences. And I think a visual of people holding hands would be such a fascinating thing to test out in an email series. Like, you know, like zoomed in might be just like really interesting to see. And, you know, we don't need to do all of these things. Allison and I just painted a picture of like a bunch of ways one might do this, which of course there's no correct way, but there is going to be your way, right? And you don't have to do it all.